No way you're the
That is staying in. Oh my god. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 15 of the Barbells and Banter podcast. It's been a minute since we did an episode. I'm just looking here, and the last one that I did was with Chris on October 29th. And the last one we did was, last time I was in prep, I think?
Yeah.
We had it going with all the boys. So it's been probably close to a year since we got on and did one of these. So we're glad to be back, but a lot's changed in a year, and we got lots of stuff coming up and lots of plans. So I guess we'll get into it. I got Jared with me here today. So what's new with you?
Well, I graduated a couple weeks ago from university. Got my bachelor's of science in honors. So I got that done. Convocation was last week, so I got all that clued up. So now I'm just working on building coaching and making money and trying to get huge.
Oh yeah, trying to get huge. Pretty much the same thing. So I'm assuming you guys would have been doing podcasts when I graduated last year. So I graduated last spring with the bachelor's in kinesiology. So, but I didn't have, because of COVID, I didn't have my graduation or convocation. So I'm having that at the end of this month. So anyone who didn't graduate over COVID is getting to kind of, or didn't convocate, is getting to do that this weekend, or not this weekend, the end of the month. Just kind of walk across the stage and do all that stuff. So that'll be good. Other than that, so the gym that I was working at before, Age Right Health Fitness, we were in the process of moving. So we moved last summer, but the gym wasn't ready for us to move in, and it hasn't been ready pretty much all year just due to from COVID and other things. It just kept getting pushed. So in the last year, I've been pretty much training clients on my own, just like old clients that I had at the gym. I've just been training them on my own, but Age Right is supposed to open up in the next couple weeks. So I'm excited to do that, get back training people there again, along with the clients that I'm currently training on my own. So that'll be good. And yeah, I started online coaching with Morgan in the new year. So that's been going really, really well. I'm really enjoying that. And hopefully looking to push to completely online in the future. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for work. Other than that, I've been just working out, training, eating. That's pretty much it. That's all we really do. But it's good. We love it. So that's the main thing.
Show plans? Show plans,
yeah. So both of us are once again in prep again. So it's been since the first show that we did that we actually prepped together. So that was 2019? 2019. When I started prep, I didn't even know Jared. But he had been working with Luke Vokey for how long?
Not that long, maybe like a month.
Yeah, so you started with him after Christmas, right?
Yeah, it was I think January, right after Christmas.
Right, and the show was in July?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I just came to know Jared because Luke started coaching me for the first show. I think it was at 9 weeks out or something. And Jared had been his client for a while then. And yeah, I think we met each other at the local supplement store, which I was working at the time. He works at there now.
Cave Dog, yeah.
So it was Cave Dog at the time. And Jared was coming in, and he came in with a bunch. I think he was looking for a TC Nutrition isolate or something like
Probably,
that.
Yeah.
Something like that. And he mentioned, he was my coach Luke said I have to get this and this, tell me. And I was like, oh, no way. And I kind of made the connection. And then he was like, I'm planning on doing a show this summer. And I was like, no way. I'm thinking about doing that show too. So yeah, and then we both started prepping and became prep buddies, and here we are.
Yeah.
So it's been 2019.
3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah.
3 years. So I did a show last summer. I did the local show here. The, what was it called? Newfoundland and Labrador Championships or something like that.
Championships, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And anyways, yeah. So that's the last time we both prepped together 3 years ago, and the last time Jared prepped all together. So
yeah, so a lot has changed. Like when I competed in 2019, like I didn't really go inside of a gym until that January when I got with Luke, because where I'm from, there's no gyms. So that was like the first time I actually stepped in a gym and had some good equipment. So that was like 6 months of training, and then I competed 6 months later. So a lot has changed. It's been 3 years. Training is going well. Food's going well. I'm like 100 pounds heavier than I was.
That's actually crazy.
So it's gonna be a lot better this time, I think.
That's actually crazy. I can't believe that, dude. Because like I've literally been like, I've been going to the gym since like 12 or 13.
Yeah.
And like working out, and just that it wasn't until like you were 19 that you actually went inside like a legit gym. Like I know you have a gym at home, but like
limited equipment,
right? So to actually step in the gym with like a veil of everything,
it's crazy.
It is crazy, yeah.
Life changer.
Big time. Yeah, that's wild, man. But yeah, we're both pumped for prep. We both gone through pretty serious and heavy bulking phases.
Yeah.
And every year, like, so since I started competing, like before I did my first show, I never really did like a bulking or cutting phase. I just like literally was just always trying to eat as much as possible, and I just trained like seriously. I took it seriously. Me and the boys did, but like it was never like to compete or anything. I never had that in my mind as like an end goal, and I always like stayed relatively lean. Like I ate as much as I could, but I wasn't like forcing myself to eat more, you know. But yeah, it wasn't until after my first show that I did like a pretty serious bulking phase, and it's like every phase since then has gotten more and more serious, and I've gotten better and better at it. So obviously this past one has been the best one to date, just because just constantly improving and pushing myself to eat more and stuff. And I had a coach for the full off season, which definitely makes a difference. Having someone to hold you accountable each week and like, you know, really push you. So yeah, no, it's been good, and I'm excited to get on stage again because I've definitely made some serious improvements. So
it's kind of crazy to think about, like even like a year ago, the goal was to get to 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And now like I'm going to compete at 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Like around 200 pounds.
Yeah. No,
it's crazy to think about. I can remember like I posted pictures like on my Instagram probably 5 or 6 years ago. It was like road to 150.
Yeah.
And then I hit 150 and I was pumped.
Yeah.
And now like I'll never see 150 again.
Yeah, dude. I remember the road to 200. And I think I started my first prep at...
I was pretty much 200 on the button. I hit 200 and like the following week we started prep.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was in the same boat. I was probably like 201, 202 at the time. And I remember being pissed because I was like, dude, I worked so hard to get to 200 pounds, and now I'm just going to cut down, throw that all away. That was probably my biggest like barrier in deciding to compete for the first time. I was like, dude, I worked so hard to put on this weight. Like I've had to eat so much food, and now I'm just going to throw it all away. Like, why would I do that? But the
rebound's always better though.
Yeah, the rebound is way better. Like you see all the guys at Atlantics that competed recently, like Jordan threw up like an insane like rebound, kind of like transformation, like his before prep and after prep at the same weights, like but a completely different body composition. It's super cool to look at. So if you've never done a show and like competed, you don't understand like how your body is going to react after the show, because it's been depleted for so long, and then it literally just soaks up everything, and the like nutrient partitioning is just like
phenomenal. Yeah,
it's crazy.
You're most insulin sensitive you'll ever be.
No
carbs, like you're just ready to soak it up.
Yeah, like those people always talk about, I'm sure you see on social media, like the post-show pumps. Like that's a legit thing, because it's the most insane pumps of your entire life. Like you just feel you're shredded and lean, like you look the best you've ever looked. And you have your muscles are just so full, like the muscles are just pushing out on the skin, and it's just crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to experience that this time.
That's gonna be good, dude.
Yeah.
So, for competing, what are your plans? Because last time you competed, you were in men's physique.
All right, so now I'm doing men's open. So that'll be November, I think 16th or something like that. So I'll be doing men's open. I might do classic. I don't know. We'll see as my physique changes closer to the show. Because I've never been really like lean. Like even my last show, like I had to work so hard to even get to where I was. So I think this time will be like show ready, stage ready. So I'll be able to see what category I'm better suited for. But I think open is more my avenue. So that I'm like 22 weeks out, 23 weeks out.
Yeah.
So we'll start prep at 20 weeks out and then really start pushing the envelope at 16 weeks until show day.
Yeah.
You're what, like 19 or something? 18? 17?
I'm 17.
17.
17 weeks out, which is weird because like I'm still pushing food like heavy.
Yeah.
Like I'm eating like 350 grams of rice with each meal still. Which like the most I got up to in the off season when I was up to like the heaviest I got was 244, and I was like eating like 400 grams of rice, 6 meals a day, like pushing food heavy. But the thing is with me is like I just lose body fat so easily and so quickly. Like if I go down to 300, I'll start like my weight will start dropping like crazy. And it did because I was at that when I came back from Florida. And like when I came back from Florida, I didn't lose much weight in Florida because I was like super conscious of like I didn't really stay on diet, but like I was eating like as much food.
Lose weight.
Exactly, I was eating as much food as possible, and just like hammering back whatever I could put my hands on. So I did come back and I was like a little fluffy, holding a little more water just from like the different foods that I was eating down there. And I came back and I got back on diet right away, and like the weight just started dropping, and like. My first check-in, like I was just like really flat and stuff, and then we just bumped the food back up a little bit and I filled right up again, like. But yeah, so I guess the plan for prep is like we'll keep doing what we're doing now and just kind of slowly taper it to try to maintain like a more kind of full look, but also like gradually drop the body fat, but I don't think it's really going to be an issue for me in prep, considering my last prep, which the weight just literally fell off me. And my last prep, I think we started at 16 weeks out, but with COVID, the show got pushed 2 or 3 times.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot that.
So I started at 16 weeks out, and then it got pushed to 19 weeks out. So my prep ended up being 19 weeks long, from like start to finish, but we had only planned on 16. And that was still like plenty of time. Like my first prep was 9 weeks. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody's going to be different. And like, especially if you're doing your first show, or if you like have a tendency to hold on to body fat like Jared, like you're going to want to start ahead of time. It's better to be ready beforehand and eat into the show than have to be pushing your body and pushing it so that, you know, you're pushing it right up to the show, and then you're just going to look depleted and like stringy on stage. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not going to have that full look.
It's kind of like you can tell it's like an inflamed look. You just know that guy had to push like really late to get there.
Yeah, because his body's just like screaming by that point, like hasn't been fed. So there's no way that you can look like
sharp and
full on stage. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we're starting prep at like 20 weeks, and we're actually going to start like moving quickly and probably try to get in shape by like 4 or 5 weeks out. And then those last 4 weeks, we're just going to maintain and fill up nicely.
Exactly. Because then your body will have a break then from, instead of you just pushing and hammer it, trying to get that fat off. You do that up to like 4 to 6 weeks out, and then you're ready. If you're ready between the 4 and 6 weeks out part, and then you can feed into the show, your body's just going to have that time to like relax and get comfortable at that weight.
Cortisol too. You're not stressed.
Yeah, you're not stressed. That's the thing. Like, and I feel like that's a thing in a lot of people. Like, even if they're not competing, just like weight loss, if they have a lot of stress in their life, they have a stressful job, they're gonna have tendencies to hold on to that weight. And in prep, people often like if you're stuck at a certain weight, like people start stressing about it more because they're like, shit, like I'm not dropping weight at all. And because they're stressing about not dropping weight, that could be one of the factors to why they're holding on to it, because of the cortisol, right?
They ruin their digestion, and then like when you're so close to a show, like every bit of food you eat matters. So if you start messing up your digestion because of the cortisol, then you're just going to be not knowing what's going wrong or how to fix it. So it's better to just be stress free, get ready early, and then feed the show.
There's so many different factors and like things that come into play in prep that like obviously would never normally be a factor, but just because you're like you're doing such an extreme level of it, it's just like the little things matter so much.
Margin for error is so small.
Yeah, like even like your sleep and stuff, which is going to be interesting for me, which is a great segment to when I'm competing next. So my plans to compete are the first show is planned October 1st, the Legends Cup in Burlington. And I picked that out. I lined that up because I want to do Canadian Nationals the following weekend, October 8th in Toronto. So obviously, like, I can't do the show here in Newfoundland because that's on November 12th. And I needed to do a regional qualifier in Open Classic Physique to get my qualifications to do Nationals. So it's going to be interesting this time because I'm having to travel for the show. So that's another thing that comes into play when you're traveling for shows and flying. There's the stress of flying, and then the actual act of flying itself, like physically, like your body's going to be holding more water when you land. So managing that will be interesting, and I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure Morgan can handle me well, but he might actually be going up with me too, so that'll be another thing for him to be able to see me in person and say, like, this is what we need to do, kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, no, it should be interesting. And then so those kind of line up perfectly because hopefully I'll get my qualifications for Nationals at the Legends Cup, which I think you probably have to place top 3 in your class if it's the same as the shows here. And then I'll already be in Ontario. Toronto's like 40 minutes away from Burlington, so I can probably just stay where I'm to and just chill for the next week, train at Pure, which will be sick because I'll be peeled. I'll just be pumping.
Yeah, a little bit of food too,
a little bit of food, kind of cruise through. Just like, I think the biggest part after this, and I was talking to someone about this recently, and I forget who it was, but it's gonna be like managing the post show kind of binge after. Like after my first show, it was so bad. I don't know if you remember.
I do, yeah.
But I was it Boston Pizza or Jacket?
No, Boston Pizza.
Boston Pizza. And I ate so many treats after my first show. Like, I was legit full, and I felt sick when I got home. Showered, changed, and then went to Boston Pizza and ate, like, appetizer, like 2 entrees, like dessert, like I had a beer. Pizza, like, it was, I was just putting away food. And I literally, like they were going downtown, like, Luke and Tara and a bunch of the other people that competed. They were going downtown, and I was going with them, like I was ready to go, and they came over and lifted up my shirt, and it literally looked like I had a baby, like I was full on pregnant,
veiny and gross.
I like my stomach was distended so much, and it was just like literally just packed with food. And I went home for the rest of the night, and I just laid in the bathtub, and I felt awful. And then after my second show, I didn't eat anything because I was pissed, and so that wasn't too bad. But
I think I gained like 9 pounds after my first show the next morning.
Oh, mine was, dude, 3 weeks after my first show, I gained over 30 pounds. Over 30 pounds in 3 weeks. That's like, rough. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I was literally like, I was a water buffalo though. Like my cheeks have never been so chubby. And like Jared will tell you on prep, my face turns into a skeleton. Yeah. Like my cheeks get so sucked in. I got a memory today on Snapchat.
Yeah, the video.
Yeah. Me and Jared were out for a hike, and it was June 6th. Was it June 6th? It was June 6th, and my show was July 17th, I think. So I was like 4 or 5 weeks out, and I looked like a skeleton. It was crazy.
You should throw it up on the podcast.
Yeah. I'll put up the little clip here on for the people who are listening or watching on YouTube. I'll throw the clip up there. But I had major Skeletor face.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too because I've never been like peeled, like, so I'm excited to see like how my face will change. Like I'm gonna have a big old cranium, like no doubt.
Oh, 100%.
When you're peeled.
Yes, head, bro. Oh man, that's gonna be hilarious.
All the fat gets gone, and it's just like
that's gonna look crazy, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm just we're just excited for like the week to week changes. Like for me, it's been so long. Like I've been just eating for 3 years. So to like actually go the other way and start shredding down and see what I've done over the last 3 years, I just want to see changes weekly. So that's exciting.
I literally hate eating, bro. Like yeah. I'm not good at eating, people. Like not at all. And that bulking's been the toughest thing for me. Like I can kill hunger cravings. Like I don't even mind being hungry, and I almost like being hungry.
Productive, man, when you're hungry.
I'm so productive when I'm hungry, and I usually like getting up like in the mornings and like just banging out a whole bunch of stuff because like I'm more alert and like I guess it
just feels good to be up before other people. Like, you know you're up doing it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Like, you're hungry. And, like, I just wasn't like that all off season because, like,
you can't. Like,
in the nighttime,
so
I'd stuff a meal in. I'd be full going to bed. And then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd still be full and I'd have to eat another meal. So it was just, like, it was always a very, like, groggy feeling. But, yeah, so that'll be good about prep. I always like being in prep. One, like Jared said, for like the daily changes, like it's just so much fun. Like for the average gym goer, like you'll remember like when you start seeing like your shoulders like round out a little more, or, like you get a bicep vein, or like you start getting like teardrops on your legs like that. But like in prep, it's like that, but like you'll see like a new line in your quad. Like you'll see like, yeah, you know, you're getting a little more vascular. You're starting to get stomach veins, like a bunch of cool stuff, and like you just get it over a very short span, and it's something new like every week. So I'm excited for that, and also just being like productive. Like I'll get up early in the morning, like go do my cardio, then I'm up at like 6:30, and like I have the whole day. And the thing is try not to be hungry for the day.
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part, because you're super productive, but like, and that's why like I'll do stuff like this during prep. Like I'll like be banging out like YouTube videos, like the podcast and stuff. It's just like I'm much more productive in prep, and I also like having something to focus on, like because like I'm bad in the off season because like I'll sit down at my computer even just to do like online client work or like edit a YouTube video, and like 4 or 5 hours passes by and I'm like, I didn't have a meal.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like so focused on it that it's just like everything else just leaves. And that's what it's like on prep, and that's why it's good. Like I can do this stuff and focus on it for a couple hours, and like
takes your mind off.
It takes your mind off being hungry. Yeah, 100%. So
and you feel good because you're being productive, so it's a win-win.
Exactly. But
like you said, the bad part is you wake up earlier and you got to stretch your meals out.
Yeah.
To last, because you can't start at 6 in the morning and finish 8 in the evening, because then like you're not going to sleep.
And hungry. That's another thing with me is I cannot fall asleep if I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's hard.
So like oftentimes in prep, I know this is not good, but I'll often like hoard my meals for the evening. Like I remember my first prep, I remember I would get rice cakes at some point throughout the day, and I had my eggs and egg white and like some toast. And so those are like 2 different meals, or like I take parts from different meals and like hoard them for the evening. And I just remember like I'd crush up rice cakes in my eggs and have that with like toast in the evening, and like I just wait all day for that, and like that's what I would have before bed every night. Like sometimes I get in bed with this meal and eat it, and then go to sleep right after, because like I had nothing else to do except wait for that meal. And if I didn't have anything to eat in the nighttime, I would not fall asleep. Yeah. Like that's all I'd be able to think about.
The meals get so specific, like, you know, I'm going to have peanut butter drizzled, I'm going to have...
Yeah, exactly.
You just look forward to it so much that it's just pre-planned, and you know already what you're going to have.
Yeah, it's crazy. But,
did you go through the tiny spoon phase? I used to use the baby spoon last prep.
I did, yes,
for
dude.
my oats.
Creamy rice?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Rice,
I can't... Dude, one thing I'm excited about for prep is getting back on the cream of rice grind.
Yeah.
I love cream of rice, but, like, I would have to eat so much of it right now in order to get my carbs for that meal. And plus, it's just, like...
Finding it here.
Finding it's hard. Yeah. So you got to order online oftentimes. And I got, like, last prep, I got a code for, like, this company. So I just ordered at a discount, like, every couple weeks, which was sick because, like, we were literally out of... What's the brand?
Just... Is it Quaker?
Is it Quaker? Yeah.
I think the brand is actually cream of rice. Like, that's trademarked.
Yeah,
That's why, like, other brands say hot cereal. Because cream of rice is trademarked.
Okay. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. So, and there was, like, none of that in town. Like, you couldn't find it anywhere.
It's still not here. I can't find it.
Yeah. It goes through phases, but, like, it was super hard to find, so that was clutch. So I'm excited to get that back in my diet, because that's one of the things I'd eat with a little spoon. Yeah. I'd have the peanut butter on there, like the berries, like...
Make it last like an hour.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cold by the end. You'd be eating it in chunks. Yeah, no, it's good, man. It's good. What else? I'm trying to think.
Get some questions.
Oh, we got some questions, yeah. Got my story. Yeah, I put up a story, and We're looking at the questions. So this is a good one. So the pros and cons to bodybuilding health-wise. So I guess
we want to do pros first, and then try to decipher the cons.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. We'll do pros first.
Pros. I mean, it teaches you discipline. It's
100%.
Like mental strength.
Yeah.
That's positive mental health. Muscle tissue is great at preventing disease.
Yeah. Resistance training in general, just for like
more muscle equates
more muscle, like even like bone density, like helping with like, you know, like you get bone loss as you age. Obviously it's the same with a muscle, and you reach a certain age and like muscular atrophy is just like a given, like it's inevitable. Yeah. Exactly. Like there's no way to avoid it, but what resistance training does is it slows it down, and it's the exact same thing for your bones. Like over time, like your bones are going to deteriorate, and resistance training, it does the same thing to bones as it does to muscles, just like microfractures, and they get stronger and like callus over time. So that's obviously beneficial for the aging population. Like that's what I did like a lot of my research papers on in school, was just focused on resistance training in the aging population. And that's like my big, like in terms of personal training, that's like my clientele. They're all like 50 plus. So yeah, that's definitely a benefit. And I think that goes for everyone. Obviously bodybuilders take it to an extreme. But still it's obviously good as we age.
What else?
The mental thing was another really good one that Jared brought up, in terms of developing, like in terms of bodybuilding itself, you have to be so much more disciplined with the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That in terms of like, okay, so time is one thing, money is another thing, because it's like, it's not a cheap sport at all. So with time, like you have to allot your hour and a half, 2 hours, 5 days a week to go to the gym. That's 10 hours a week. And then prepping meals is the biggest thing. Like having to cook literally every single day and making time to eat, because I'm a slow ass eater. Yeah. I take forever to eat. So like 6 meals a day, having to eat those meals, cook them, and then go to the gym on top of that. Like you have to be very have all your like
no free time really.
No free time, and like you always say, like planning in advance is like a big thing, like especially in school. Like he was in school working, like you'd have to have like your meals prepped, plan in advance, like have them ready to go in the car with you, right?
Especially if you're working too, because that goes with it. Bodybuilding is not cheap at all. So if you're working, like say you're in school from like 10 to 5, and then you're working from 5 to 9, if you don't prep food, you're preparing to fail, because you don't have food. So then you got to have either fast food or like some protein shake, which is probably full of fillers. So you could just prep ahead of time, and then you're set to go. Yeah.
And I remember so for my first prep, that was probably like the most stressful. So we started 9 weeks out for one, so we were like kind of rushed. And I was doing my first work term in school, so I was working at a physio clinic, and I was also working at Cave Dog 2 or 3 nights a week. And I was in the military, so I had to do that. I had to go down there once a week.
Didn't you coach the Special Olympics team, didn't you?
And I was coaching Special Olympics, yeah.
Sundays.
And so in the summer times, that was once a week as well. So sometimes I'd get off work, so I'd have to have my meals prepped in the nighttime. I'd go to sleep, wake up at like 5, 6, go do my cardio, get to work for 8.
Cardio's another big one that takes time.
Cardio in the morning and prep.
You got to drive to the gym if you don't have it at your house. You drive back.
I had to drive to the gym every morning. Then I'd often walk to work, and I'd work there from like 8 to 5. And it would, luckily, the physio clinic I worked at was in the same block, in the same building as Cave Dog. Yeah. So I'd literally leave there, walk around the corner to Cave Dog. Oh. All right, so we're back. The camera we were recording with shuts off after 30 minutes. So I just have a timer set every 30 minutes so that we know that we're going to have to change this. So where were we? Oh yeah, talking about prep and working. So basically the schedule on my first prep, I'd wake up at like 6, go do cardio, come home, eat, walk to work for 8, and then I'd work at the physio clinic from 8 to 5, And then, like I said, it was in the same block as Cave Dog, the supplement store. So I'd walk around the corner and go to Cave Dog from 5 to 9, get off work at 9, go home, eat, take pre, and then go to the gym at like 9:30, 10, work out, and then I'd come home at like, I don't know, like 11, 11:30, and then I'd prep meals for the next day, and then I go to sleep, and that was a constant cycle, like every single day. So first prep was a grind. Luckily, the second prep, I was like half of that prep, I was still in university, like I was in my last semester. And then for the last part, I was just working as a personal trainer. So obviously that was good because I was like kind of got to choose my hours in terms of when I train clients and stuff. So I had more control over my schedule and could often get off the afternoons for training. And I just had more free time. So yeah.
Yeah, my first prep was a grind too. I worked at Mary Brown's. I was a cook there. I worked from like, I think it was 10 to 9, Monday through Friday.
And this was at home. You were prepping at home,
Yeah,
right?
so I was where I'm from, but I had to drive 45 minutes to get there. So I used to work from 10 to 9 p.m., but then at 9, I lived so far away from my house that I had to bring all my gym clothes. So I was covered in like oil, grease.
Yeah.
Just worked for 9 or 11 hours, and then I would train at 9.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to drive an hour to get back home
Yeah,
after.
that's funny actually. We had like very similar like first preps in terms of like
Just full days. Packed.
Literally packed days. But I remember because I would be home I think it was either when I was going to the gym or before I was about to go to the gym or after I got home from the gym. Jared would always call me like on his drive home.
Yeah.
And we'd like just chat about the day and like talk about prep and any updates and stuff. Because he had a long drive home into the gym every day.
Yeah. Like, then I'd do cardio. I had a treadmill in my shed.
Yeah.
So I'd get up in the morning before work and go and do cardio on the treadmill.
Yeah, that's hilarious, bro.
I would dread it. Like, the smell of that shed now, when I smell it, it just smells like prep. Like,
yeah, you just get like
hate going in there. I knew every time I opened the door, it was just like, I had to get out of there for like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah. Now, like, my last prep, it wasn't too bad cardio-wise, because obviously we had so much more time dieting. We had like 10 more weeks of dieting. So, like, cardio really wasn't too bad. I'd usually go for a walk outside with my brother for, like, I think the most we got up to was like 45 minutes, just like normal pace walk outside. So
You did the bike too a bit.
Yeah, and I had a little stationary bike down here, which
desk.
yeah. The bike has like a little desk on it, and I didn't go hard on that thing at all. Literally just like
sturdy as my bike.
Yeah, legit. It's like a very comfortable chair, like with memory foam. I bought it from some old lady on Facebook Marketplace, and it's got like this desk with like a couple and everything. So I just set up my laptop, have like breakfast there if I wanted. Like, it's pretty funny. But the boys chirped me for that one. But yeah, so that's why prep is beneficial. Getting back to it, that's another benefit of bodybuilding, because you have to be so disciplined outside of the gym as well. Because obviously your schedule is so busy, and in order to fit in those things and into your day, you have to be very scheduled and
even those skills you learn from competing and just being so rigid transfers to other parts of your life, like your work.
Yeah.
Like, you just want to be good at everything. Like, you figured out what it feels like to do well, and you just want to do well in everything you do.
Yeah.
So it all kind of comes together.
Yeah, it's very transferable for sure. What other positives to it?
You look huge.
Yeah, you look huge, which is sick, obviously.
You're 1 in 100,000, like you're...
Yeah, which is pretty cool. It's just like, that's another thing too. Like, I feel like because I'm a bodybuilder, and because like we put so much time and effort into our bodies and like how we look and taking care of ourselves, like even coming down to like vitamins and health supplements and stuff like that, we're very conscious of that. And I feel like I see people who don't take care of their bodies, and I'm much more judgmental of that as like a person's character than a normal person that's not as strict and into bodybuilding would be. Just because like we know how much work we put into it, how much time and effort, and it would require a minimal amount to look good, you know what I mean? Or like not be like fat. Like that's pretty much the bottom line.
Yeah.
Like I just don't see in any world how, you know,
beneficial.
Yeah, it's beneficial even. Like I don't understand how you'd feel good. Yeah. So that's my take.
All right, cons
Cons of bodybuilding.
Obviously, the health-wise, like.
So first of all, the most obvious one would obviously be like steroid use and performance-enhancing drugs, which I'm sure if you ask any bodybuilder, they're gonna say like that's their least favorite part about bodybuilding.
Yeah, definitely.
Like nobody likes doing that, but obviously it's a part of bodybuilding. And in order to get to a certain level and like reach a certain size, like you have to take performance enhancing drugs. Like there's no way around it. There's been plenty of really good bodybuilders who have turned pro naturally. The first one that comes to mind when I think of it is Quentin. Quentin turned pro. I don't know how old he was, but he wasn't very old. He was probably like
too.
Quentin and Keon. Yeah. Keon. But they both turned pro at a very young age. Obviously phenomenal genetics, but there's a ceiling when that comes to it. When it comes to it, in bodybuilding, obviously you can look really good, but you're not going to excel in the pro leagues naturally otherwise. So, yeah. That's the first one. I would say probably the second one would be like eating and diet. You go to very extremes with that.
I feel like the main things that happen mentally while bodybuilding is mainly in prep, not really in the off season.
Yeah.
In the off season, you're just doing your thing. Like it's not as difficult as in prep. Like as you dive deeper into prep, it gets harder and harder and harder.
Yeah.
And I think that's why bodybuilding gets a bad rap for prep, is because people come out of a show and they start binge eating and then they develop an eating disorder.
Yeah, 100%.
A lot of girls I find more than men.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So that's definitely a con.
But like another thing is too, like I know guys personally that have developed eating disorders after prep, because like never in their life have they looked as good as they did during prep, and they get to that point and they're like, why would I want to look any other way? Like they get so caught up in their current look that they're not even thinking about, okay, how could I look in the future? Like how could like putting on body weight or body fat and actually growing benefit me? Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's when they end up like, you know, eating almost nothing after prep and ruining their metabolisms just so that they can look like that for a little longer, and before they get the reality check of like, oh hey, this isn't sustainable, this isn't like, you know, I'm not happy when I look like this. Like in prep, when you get like stage ready, like you're lean, you don't feel good at all.
No.
Like you don't, your body just hurts. It hurts to sit down. Like it hurts to stand up. Like there's no winning.
Just
energy's low. Like
and your estrogen is probably 0, so you just need a little bit of body fat. Like
it's just not good hormonally at all. You know, obviously if you're doing open, that's controllable throughout your prep, and obviously using performance enhancing drugs during a prep makes prep a lot easier. And that's another reason why I would say, like, if you want to get into bodybuilding, why you should do a natural show first.
Yeah.
To actually realize how hard prep can be, and like realizing, okay, you have to suffer to get to where you're gonna want to be.
Yeah.
And you know, drugs do help with that, but you're still gonna have to suffer. You know what I mean? So yeah. I kind of went off on a tangent there.
You have any other questions there?
I'm on TikTok live here, so for those watching on YouTube or listening on podcasts, I just went live and see if there's any questions in here. People just asking what we're doing. You guys have motivated me more than you know. I appreciate that.
Thanks, dude.
That's sick. Yeah, it's super cool getting messages like that on like Instagram, or like I get a lot of comments on TikTok and stuff like that. Like it was funny. I saw a TikTok the other day, and like it was just some gym guy and like gym goer, and he was wearing these sick jeans, like they were loose jeans, and I always have trouble finding jeans that like I'm comfortable in and that fit, because like I can't get like an athletic fitting jean anymore because they're just too tight. But I want to get one that's like loose and I'm comfortable in, but also isn't like huge like bootleg bottoms.
Oh, yeah.
Like you don't want that, man.
Yeah.
And anyways, so like I saw this guy's jeans and I was just like, I commented on the TikTok. It didn't have very many likes or anything. So I was like, yo, like where'd you get these jeans, bro? Like you look good. And he responded back to me. He was like, dude, like you're such an inspiration. Like I can't believe you commented. Like this is so cool. And I was like, sick, man. Like this is like, I didn't expect that at all. I just wanted to know where the jeans were from.
So we just feel like normal guys, like doing their thing. Like,
yeah, exactly. But it's like, there's obviously, you know, people watching and listening, that we do motivate just by kind of posting our progress. And like, I just started like posting workouts on Instagram and stuff and like documenting my progress. And that's how I started like posting fitness content. It was never like, my initial goal was never to like, you know, motivate or inspire people, but that's just kind of come along the way of, you know, just doing my thing. So, which is super cool.
Definitely a privilege to get to be able to do that for sure.
Oh, 100%. I wonder if I can get out of this and see my, this could be, okay. Oh yeah, I got a comment, or I got a question. Can you shed some light on what it's like to be featured in a milk commercial? So this is like an inside joke, but basically when I was in elementary school, like the company that supplied all the milk to schools was called like Go Milk, and I was on the like poster ad in schools of like the milk thing. So yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So remember when you used to have little stickers on them?
Yeah,
on the bottom?
Exactly. Yeah. No, 100%.
Like I used to
100%. I remember like they used to bring like a crate of milk into the classroom. There'd be like chocolate and like regular milk, and we used to sprint to the carton, and so we get the chocolate milk first, and the leftovers would always suck. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Someone asked, what do you look for in a girl? And I get this question every time I post a Q&A. Okay, we're still going here on TikTok. But basically, I think right now we're like, and Jared can speak to this too, because he's had a girlfriend for a while. I think that like in this lifestyle, I'd have to be dating someone or with someone that's like also lives the same lifestyle, or is either very understanding of it, and understands like the time commitments of it and the sacrifice. Like especially in prep, like you can't obviously go out anywhere, go out on dates or anything like that, with the exception of like having a cheat meal or something. You're gonna be very like, there's gonna be low and high energy times, so like you're gonna be very moody, and that's gonna fluctuate based on the day.
You're just hungry too, and like I don't know about you, when I'm hungry, like I'm impossible to deal with.
Even in the off season, if I get hungry in the off season, bro,
talk.
I'm just like, I need food. Like, get me food right now. So that's another thing, and yeah, it's just like someone who's very understanding of the lifestyle and can kind of like just like almost like
grow with it,
you, and like kind of blend in to that lifestyle. It has to be like a very fitting person, and obviously too like very very kind of general in terms of like characteristics, but like someone who's also like very like ambitious and motivated. Like I want to be with someone that's obviously going to push me to be better as well, while I push them too, because obviously you want a relationship you're gonna benefit each other in. And honestly, other than that, I feel like without that, I would really get no benefit of having a girlfriend. Like to me, it would just be a waste of time. Like I've never been the type of person to just date someone to have a girlfriend. You know what I mean? I just think that's super pointless. Like I love being by myself, and I love being alone and having time to do the things that I want to do. Like, you know, work on social media, make a podcast, make YouTube videos, like do stuff that's actually going to benefit me, like work on courses, like online courses in my free time, like put my time and energy into work and stuff that's going to benefit my future, rather than just investing time into someone that has no place in my future. You know what I mean? And you can speak on that too. How long have you and Carly been together?
Almost 5 years.
Crazy.
So like when we first started dating, like obviously this was years ago, like we were both in high school. She wasn't really into bodybuilding like I was, but then when she moved in here with me and got introduced to the lifestyle, we just became better because we grew together. Like she does what I do now. Like we eat together, train together. You know, you can just do activities together that otherwise you would have to do by yourself.
Jared's living the dream. And Carly's huge now also. Yeah. I know Carly's going to listen to this, but like when Carly came in here, she was like she had like an athletic build. Like she played hockey like her whole life. So she was an athlete, but like she didn't have any like really muscular build or anything like that. And dude, it literally in the first couple months of her hitting the gym, like she literally blew up. Yeah. And she's like continuing to grow, which is like crazy to me.
Yeah, it's been it's probably been almost a year now she's been training.
Yeah, like training consistently in the gym, like, and
she eats a lot.
That's
like,
crazy.
That's the key, man. I find girls tend to not eat much. Like you gotta eat if you want to grow.
100%.
Man or woman, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that like you said, that goes for anyone. Like if you're not willing to eat in the off season, you're not gonna grow. Like it's like food has to be your number one priority in the off season. Yeah. Like you can't rely on drugs or anything like that. Like a lot of people like to take time off in the off season. But like, you know, when you get to like the Olympia and you're a pro, like sure you can do that. Like,
yeah, we still got a lot of tissue.
Yeah. Like right now is like, we're grinding to grow. You know what I mean? You can't rely on your preps to kind of get that extra couple pounds every year. You know what I mean? You got to put in work in the off season and, you know, come showtime, we're gonna see who's eating and who's not, and that's the bottom line, right? What else?
Your phone's like 20.
Anyone have questions in here? Yeah, but that's pretty much it. What were we talking about? Oh, the girlfriend thing. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. Having someone to kind of grow with, and that's going to benefit you is really the biggest thing.
Because I just feel like if say you did meet a girl and she was doing something completely different, like she wanted to drink all the time, like go out all the time, you're just not going to spend any time together.
Yeah.
Like, I spend most of my day eating, sleeping, and training, and working. So like unless she's doing some of those activities with you, then like she's not going to spend any time with you, right?
Yeah. Like even if you really like this girl, and you're living your lifestyle, she's living her lifestyle, there's going to be a clash there because you have nothing that's kind of like crossing over or intersecting. So you're not going to get to spend any time with each other, no matter how much you like someone. It's just not going to work if you're not spending like quality time with them.
And odds are, if she's living that lifestyle and you're living that one, you're probably just going to find other people anyway. So like, why even start at the beginning?
100%. Like I said, waste of time.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's just like a lot of people here. Like a lot of people here live that lifestyle. You know, they'll work all week and they're just, you know, living for the weekend. And, you know, I just don't do that. Like I had my time when I did that. And I went out a lot. But I just hated it. And, I enjoy this like way, way more. Like this is what I'm really passionate about. And, you know, obviously I'm going to, you know, invest in that and stick with that. Cause you just got to put yourself first in those situations. So yeah. So maybe when I move away, maybe we'll see. I'll probably just be alone for the rest of my life. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I got to say. When are we doing another one of these?
I don't know. We can make it a weekly thing, maybe.
A weekly thing.
Every Sunday, every second Sunday.
What do we think? Weekly thing?
Maybe get somebody else.
Weekly podcast? Yeah.
Who can we get on? Maybe get some people on.
If you want to be a guest on the podcast, DM me. You know, if we have any clashing beliefs or our beliefs align.
Got something to talk about.
Yeah, we have something to talk about. I'm down to talk about anything. This is Barbells and Banter podcast. Yeah. So if we want to get on here and have a little banter, I'm fine with that too. But yeah, that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And this is what was this, episode 15? 15. All right, we'll see you next episode. Take care.